Powell, a senator with hundreds of millions of dollars, has done very well in the stock market, crypto space, and anywhere else you can think of. So we're going to ask him for some information. I'm going to share some information with you that has helped me do very well with XRP. And then we'll just kind of go from there. The movie for today is going to be very helpful. I think this clip from Raoul Pal is very helpful. So that's what we'll start with. Now, I know that many of you haven't seen it before, and I'll soon give you my own thoughts on it. It's time to pay attention, and there are too many coins. The more coins there are, the less attention you get. Pay attention to the important ones, or pay too much attention to the big ones. In this world, stories only last a short time. From the market's low point in 2022 to now, when the bull market has been going strong for 3 years, it's been a game of who can control Bitcoin. Except for 2 changes in asset allocation that lasted a year each, Bitcoin has been the best bet. Solana made the bottom change and Sui made the top change last year. Those were the big bets. XRP was the third one. Yes, Ralph does forget about these things sometimes, but that's okay. We'll forgive him because you would have done much better if he had bought XRP a year ago at 40 cents or 30 cents. After that, he bought Bitcoin. We'll talk more about that later. Let's hear more of what he has to say. Although some of these short-term bets have made you a lot of money, they haven't been strong over time, which is why we haven't paid much attention to them. What you really want to know is which of the top 10 to 20 projects have long-term network acceptance that is growing and can be proven. Those are the better bets. How do you get that? How do you find one that will last in this crazy game where attention is everything? There are 2 ways to look at it. Today, we're going to talk about Metcalfe's Law, which is how this price really works. That's how Amazon and Google were priced. Metcalfe's rule tells us how to put a value on networks. It shows how many active users there are and how much money has been sent. Are those users worth anything? There are a lot of people who use the Bitcoin network. They don't buy, hold, or sell much, but that has a lot of value. They're independent states that are buying. That's why Bitcoin is so valuable. A huge number of people use Ethereum, and a huge number of apps, layer 2S, have made it a little less clear, but that's why it's valuable. That's why you should look for projects that are getting more people and more applications. Okay, that's all I have to say about it. I talk about it in all of my materials. We talk about this topic all the time. It's been all about how useful it is in real life. It's those real life uses that get new people to sign up. Ralph, we shouldn't talk about AI coins and RWA coins because the time frame is long term. Instead, Pal is talking about how these 2 things are connected. Of course, the main thing that keeps people interested in a coin is that it keeps growing. The more people learn about it, and the longer a project keeps making things that people use and find useful, the more price action you'll see. This is because more market share, mind share, and market capitalization mean more price action. It's important to find ones that do that, and I think XRP is a great example of that. It was designed to be used for more than just payments across borders. It's developed at the layer 2 level, and a huge number of new users and wallets are being made all the time on XRP. You can see how many new wallets have been made since November. It's crazy. Millions and millions of wallets are being made, and a huge number of people are using the XRP system to make transactions, which is a great sign, especially since Bitcoin's price is changing the most right now, and only a few other cryptocurrencies are also doing well. Those Braille Power talked about, like Sui and Solana, they're also doing well, but it's definitely one of them. To be honest, I think you can do well with these other altcoins too. But let's take a moment to think about which one you think will be the best. For example, Solana crashes every time there is a lot of connectivity. Several times during the last bull run, a lot of people bought Solana and its price went up by 100 times or more. Then there was a lot of fear, so people started selling. This is what always happens with Solana. So you have to ask yourself what it's made for. Deals that happen very quickly and for very little money. A little money, as well as for payment processing, layer 2 development, and meme coins. For all of those things to work, it needs to have crazy output all the time and stay online. This is because everything that was built won't work if the network goes down, which is why I keep my distance from Solana XRP. Because of all the activity on Ledger, the Solana network has never crashed. That's a good sign because XRP is meant to do many of the same things as Solana. That's why I pay more attention to XRP. That's why I think XRP has done better than almost all other altcoins and has also been able to keep its value much better. Now, let's talk about how to make money. This is how I make money, but I'm not going to tell you how I do it. Help with business. As for what I've been doing and how well it's been working for me, you already know. That's it. I want to make that clear right away. What you're looking at here are the Fibonacci string Bollinger Bands. If you use a 15-minute time window like I do, this tool is great for swing trading. It tells you when there's a lot more sell pressure than buy pressure and when there's a lot more buy pressure than sell pressure. From this, you can pretty much tell when it's a good time to buy and when it's a good time to sell. Let us go back to the year 2025. We broke below this green line on Thursday, June 5th. In general, breaking below this green line is a very strong sign to buy. XRP's price hit a low point of about $2.00, which is very, very low, about 5 cents. And you can see strong buy signals cross this line and touch the red one. XRP was at $2.30, which is usually a sign to sell. So from the 5th to the 8th, 3 days, yes, 3 days and 2 nights, you could have bought XRP for 205 or more and then sold it here for 230. Of course, right after I touched the red line, the price went back down to the purple middle line and it's been trading around that area ever since. This shows that this is a good place to hold. That's what I always do. But there are a few other things going on right now that are also having a big effect on the extra piece price. That one, though, is the Federal Reserve and interest rates and taxes. You know, that all of these global issues like wars between millionaires and other things are very bad for business. Aside from thought share and other things, we really need to keep an eye on having enough money. Raul, there's a term for this that Paul talks about a lot. When the total amount of liquidity in the markets goes up, which means that more money is moving around the economy, the prices of most assets tend to go up as well. This is true for stocks, real estate, crypto, and everything else. The main thing that makes the markets more liquid is when the Federal Reserve prints money and lowers interest rates. That's something we need to keep an eye on. After the Fed lowers interest rates, the markets usually go up a lot. Besides what I showed you with the Fibonacci Bollinger Bands, there's one more thing you should keep an eye on. There's a lot of good stuff going on here. Hey everyone, I want to let you know that everything I talked about in today's video and a lot more is available for free in my channel on Discord. I also show you every trade I make and every trade I close. To get that information for free, you only need to do 3 things. Click on the link to my website below, sign up for one of the 2 platforms I work with, and pay at least $1,000. Then send me your email exchange user ID. After that, you can use my free Discord or Telegram channel to see all of my trade records. Then we kill it in trades. Trades help me make a lot of money. I do this because trades are how I make most of my money. You should know that. The last few months were up more than 200%. That's really cool.